And in that process, there should be that transparency. In that process, you should also be able to participate in the contracting and in the bidding process. You know, you should not just, your own should not just be I pay taxes. It should go beyond that. But what do we have? You pass a budget and you've signed a budget, but nobody has seen that budget. And that's a budget of over 800 billion naira. And nobody has seen what exactly are you planning to do with the money. Where's the breakdown? The federal government, you can abuse them from today to tomorrow. They might be doing poorly in the actual expenditure, but at least the budget is public and is detailed. Okay. So you can ask questions. But in Lagos State, it's just an executive state of assembly thing, and the citizens are not even carried along. And the only thing the citizens see is road props up, is schools props up. You don't even know what is it.
Okay, with the current income of Nigeria, if well managed, do you think the standards of living can be improved for the common man? What
income are we talking about? We're talking about a minimum wage of $50 or $40 per month for 30 days. That's less than $1 a day. You know, which income level are we talking about? Incomes are stagnated because if production levels are accelerating, if growth is happening in an economy, that's also where you can also raise income. If growth is not happening, you can't raise income.
Well, you know, the vice president has set up a committee, I think, to look at how they can bring the prices of food down. So if that should be successful and food does come down, perhaps that money will be able to be stretched.
Yeah, but you have to ask one question. Price stability is the work of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, if the federal government sets up a committee to ensure price stability, you know, it looks like it's a referendum of incompetence on the back of the CBN. You don't, when we say a task force, what do we want to achieve here? People that also sell food also buy things. And the things they buy in the market are also skyrocket. So they have to also raise their prices somehow. There's a gradual level of inflation happening in the society that everybody's carried on along with that side. So when we say we want to force down prices, maybe we are going to resolve some structural problems. Maybe access to market, maybe access to credit. Fine. But then the underlying part of the matter is that commodities and items, both food and non-food items, are rising by the day. And there has to be some sort of solution to that.
So if you think that's the CBN's problem to worry about, the responsibility for price stability, how do you think the government should spend the money? What areas should the government focus on and prioritize?
So if we have money now, I would say, firstly, we have a problem. We have been vulnerable to oil for years. So we've only fully depended on oil. So the way to go is to think about non-oil. And agriculture is a big component of that.
So diversify the economy.
We always talk about it. But the economy is diversified. The problem is that, number one, government has not taken taxes strong enough from the economy. So we have an entire agricultural value chain that is not taxed, that's nearly not taxed at all. So the government is taking money from oil and takes nothing from anything else. There's a problem in that regard. Lagos State is lucky because it takes most of the taxes from the payee, which are from the workers, and has the largest concentration of formal workers. So you have that already. So you need to also draw these spaces to their value chain. So agriculture, don't just be a primary producer of agriculture. The same thing I've always done with oil, where we only just extract oil and sell. Make sure your agriculture leads to the end of your value chain. Build industries with it. Connect manufacturing with it. And those are the only ways you can actually, and that's where I think government should focus on it. How do we build systems within that are strong, that people can actually get jobs? Okay. That's why I feel we should do. And also some macroeconomic stability. You can't take that away. If your currency prices are almost 6 and 7s, then definitely you can't bring confidence in the economy. Nobody's going to invest in that economy. That's why our foreign direct investment is down. Our foreign portfolio investment is down. Because as long as you don't use confidence to the people who are external actors, you can't actually grow the economy. So you don't need Nigeria's money alone to grow Nigeria. You also need foreign investment to grow Nigeria. And we are not doing well on that.
Okay. So let's move back to the budget.
Yep.
Do you think that these government parastatals actually get what is apportioned to them in the budget? So this is looking at implementation.
Yeah, implementation has been poor. But Lagos State recently has posted good figures for implementation, even though that's contested because you don't have the details of the implementation. You just have high-level numbers. But for the federal government, it's been terrible. The budget is always like an intent, still a proposal. What matters, and most times we are not realistic when we are budgeting in Nigeria. Lagos State has tried to be realistic, but I think this year they've gone way off the mark, and I'm curious to see how that happens. But federal government also has not always been realistic. And so most times we just budget high numbers. But if you look at the underlying revenue fundamentals guiding it, it's not adding up at all. So why you find out that sometimes you find items in the budget every year just because they were budgeted for and funds were not released for. Sometimes it's also theft or graft.
Okay.
So I think in implementation below 50%.
Okay. How can we have a more open National Assembly with the budget padding crisis? Because that was something that rocked the news, this whole budget. You know, first there was the budget, one copy of the budget, and that went missing. Then there were allegations of padding existing.
Yeah.
What can be done to address such issues?
You know, the National Assembly is the highest organ of accountability in Nigeria. You know, it's always a very emotional issue for me because you have people who have the yardstick to ensure everybody stays in place. But if you must ask for equity, you should also come with clean hands. If you are the guy who is supposed to demand accountability from everybody, has oversight function on everybody, you should also be accountable.
So they should come with clean hands.
Yeah, but they've not. You spend 115 billion. I mean, I've been on this campaign for 1.5 years. It's always very shameful for me to keep saying it.
Thank you so much, Seun, for joining us on the show. Rubbin Minds will continue after this break. Please stay with us.
So let's dance now, it is my turn. Just one word.